Okay, where's Facebook? All right, I need to share my screen, share this one, boom, boom, share. Are you talking to me? What? No, thank you. Sorry, I'm about to go live. All right. Hello, everyone. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me,
Yep.
and great. And then let's just make sure that everyone else is able to talk as well. Rachel, are you able to talk and hear me as well?
I think she's gonna disconnect. She had her phone with her upstairs with the baby.
Oh, okay.
But
And
she's
then,
just about to walk in.
great. And then who is iPhone? So I can give you
I
a
have
name
no
here.
idea. I thought that was you.
Oh, nope, not me. Let's see
Oh,
here.
not us.
All right. All right. Well, are you guys surviving all this crazy?
Yeah, we are.
That's
How
good.
about yourselves?
It's been good. So a lot of downtime, which has been, not a bad thing. So
Right.
it's been all right so far.
Good. Glad to hear.
Yeah. So welcome to the live open house. This is the first time we're doing it, and so hopefully this works out well. I wanted to kind of show you guys first just a quick video that shows our kind of what we've done online since coming into, because we had to bring all of our classes online as of last week.
Sure.
And so I'm going to show you guys just a little bit of what that kind of looks like.
Okay.
This was we had, I don't know if you've heard of that Netflix get together, but we all had like a Netflix activity and we watched some of the Disney shorts online together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of things with Zoom at work.
We tried running drama club online last week, continuing our music and trying to, continue our blocking and learning stuff for our musical that's in April. Yeah. So that's kind of a glimpse of, kind of what our live classes have looked like over the past couple weeks, and we've been able to keep everything up and going, which has been great. So I have a little, presentation that I'll go through to kind of talk about Artios and what we do, and then feel free to interrupt me, ask any questions that you might have, and then we'll just go through and see what you guys have later. All right, so as you probably already know, Artios Academies is a Christian homeschool parent partnership. It's focused on teaching to the whole heart of the child and then studying through the fine arts through a Christian worldview. We go through a 4-year history cycle, which is ancient, medieval Renaissance, early modern, and then the modern time period. So this year we're in ancient, and then next year we'll be studying medieval Renaissance. There are lots of different Artios campuses around the country. There's 2 here in Colorado, and then it looks like we have 3 in Georgia and Texas, South Carolina, Michigan, and Virginia. And then I'm the owner of the Castle Rock campus.
Okay.
We have 3 different types of, main programs inside the Artios Academy. So the first one would be called the Academy, and that's going to be for our grades K through 8th grade at this campus. And so we break that K through 8th into, this year it was into 4 different classes. And so class A was our 1st and 2nd grade students. And then they cycle through 4 different subjects during the day. So history, art, music, and theater. And all of that is through that historical integration. So what they're learning in history goes right along with what they're learning in music and in art and in theater. Of course, all of these lesson plans are focused on the fact that these kids have short attention spans. So there's a lot of different learning styles that are going to be implemented during those classes in order to keep them engaged. Movement, of course, is a very important one because 1st and 2nd graders need to be active a lot. So there's no homework, but there is always optional activities that are going to be offered online through our learning system. And so you'll have different activities that you're able to do in addition at home. so that you're able to continue what they're learning at Artios along at home. And so, of course, all of our learning is focused on making it fun. And that's why we have all these different types of learning styles implemented into our different curriculums. Next, we have our Class B. That's going to be our 3rd and 5th grades, 3rd through 5th grades. And again, they're going to cycle through that history, art, music, and theater. And then this is where we start to get a little bit more in depth. We're going to start presenting a little bit differently. We're going to continue those hands-on activities, though, starting to develop, more of their fine arts skills. And then there's going to be occasional homework that we'll assign for them to do, because they're starting to be able to do more like group projects together and things like that. So that it's important that these kids are starting to do that at home as well, so that the group projects are actually successful, because group projects only work if everyone actually does them.
Makes sense.
Right. So 6th through 7th grade is our Class C. And again, same 4 classes, right? Because it's academy. We're going to start implementing the beginnings of critical thinking. That's something that we really push here at Artios. We want the kids to be able to think for themselves rather than taking information that we present at them and just taking it at face value. We want them to investigate and develop their, opinions of this material on their own with the guidance of the teacher. They're going to start a lot of more discussion through the different classes, as well as some light homework. Again, they have lots of exposure to the different fine arts through these different 4 classes. And at this point, they're kind of just starting to discover the different areas of interest that they might want to focus on more specifically in the future. And then we have lots of more purposeful, social activities that are happening through our different clubs, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And then another thing that we push at Artios is the fact that we want the kids to be mentoring the younger students. So as they move up in classes, we're expecting more and more from them, because as we all know, younger kids look up to older kids, and we want to take advantage of that and have these older kids to be mentoring the younger kids in a successful way, in a way that's going to point all of the kids, to Christ in whatever area of life that they're walking through at the moment. Our last class, which we actually added this year because we had a big Class D. So Class D was our 8th grade. And so we had a little bit of an opportunity to have an introduction to Conservatory, which is our high school program. So one of our theater classes was actually kind of geared towards going into Conservatory. So they kind of got a taste of what that might look like. And I can tell you more about Conservatory a little bit later. And so they have the option to be graded in that class. So in that theater class that they wanted to be graded, then they were able to kind of test out of an intro to theater class in Conservatory. And so that was our Class D. Do you have any questions about, or anyone have any questions about what the Academy program looks like, or questions about Academy?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know you have a drama club. What's the difference between theater that they learn in the different classes and the drama club?
Good question. So the drama club is focused on productions. So it's not tied to a time period. And so for instance, this year, we're putting on Mary Poppins. So drama club is focused just on the rehearsals for Mary Poppins. The actual theater class and academy is geared towards the historical time period that we're in for that year. And so they'll have different projects and skits and things like that they'll do in that class, but it won't be for an actual theatrical production, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sure.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
Any other questions? And if you're on Facebook, I'm watching Facebook questions too. So if you guys type comments on there, I'm watching for those.
Okay.
All right, well, I will move on to History Fair. So History Fair is an event that we have every year that kind of is able to tie in the time period that we're learning. So all these different kids have different projects that they're doing throughout the year that build that they build or make or cook or whatever. This year for Ancient, we had a ton of food projects, which was fantastic because we had it like right at lunchtime, and it worked out great. And almost all the food was really, really good. Somewhere it's kind of weird because it's ancient time period, you know? So, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a time for the kids to be able to showcase kind of what they've been learning throughout the year. And so we have this in the spring. We had this when did we have this? I don't know, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And so it was all based on the ancient time period. This looks like early modern is what most of these pictures are from here. So this is kind of what a typical day will look like at Artios. And so we have plus classes that will run in the morning, you know, from that 8 to 9 time period. And then there might be another plus class or a literature class or something like that from 9 to 10. And then the academy portion will run from that 10 to 2 time. And so they'll cycle through those 4 classes. And then we'll have, you know, optional plus classes afterwards as well. And I'll show you guys later on the actual schedule for next year and class offerings and things like that. So the Conservatory is our high school program. That's going to be our 9th through 12th grade. And this is where the Christian worldview class is the only required class for for Conservatory. So if you weren't interested in obtaining an Artios certificate through Artios, then all you have to do is take the worldview class, and then you could take, you know, any other classes that you might want to take. And I'll explain the different kind of majors and things of Conservatory. Basically what it is it's kind of like college on a high school level. So where these kids are being able to come in and take intro classes for all the different mediums of, you know, visual art, media arts, music and theater. And so after that first year, they're able to kind of declare a major in their sophomore year. And then they have a scope and sequence that's laid out by Artios, you know, a graduation plan if they want to try and pursue that, sorry, lost my train of thought. If they're wanting to pursue that major for the rest of their career. So if they, you know, for instance, I actually graduated from Artios because back, you know, when I was in high school and I graduated with a music degree, and that actually helped me going into college because I was able to test out of different musical theory classes and get different scholarships based on the knowledge that I got coming out of Conservatory. And then even if you aren't a kid that's looking to go into the arts, there's scholarships for, you know, non-arts majors that, you know, where they can benefit financially from the knowledge that they get here at Artios. We're really starting, to push the critical thinking skills of the kids, especially in that worldview class where we're discussing all the different types of worldviews, because we're really wanting to send these kids out into the world with a really solid foundation, and not a solid foundation in which I established for them, but that they established for themselves through the critical thinking that they were using and developing here at Artios. Lots of different questions and discussions are happening during this time. And this is where they kind of really start to make that relationship with Christ, you know, their own. And again, that worldview class is really where that starts to come from. And yeah, that's why it's our mandatory class. Homework, of course, is required for Conservatory. So everything's graded in high school. So yeah, that's all there is to say about that. They're refining those areas of interest. Like I said, you know, by sophomore year, they've actually declared a major. And there was one other major that I forgot to mention, which was the fine arts major, which is kind of where you take 3 classes in addition to worldview and every year at Artios, and then you can graduate with a fine arts major. So you kind of get a taste of everything and get to go, you know, more in depth into, you know, into more areas if you're not sure, or just actually want a, you know, a better understanding of each subject. The mentorship of younger students is continuing through this. We even have, especially through our drama clubs and things like that, this is where the Conservatory kids are really able to interact more with those younger kids and, you know, mentor them along through different productions and things like that. The upperclassmen even have opportunities for student directing, choreographing different musical numbers and things like that. And then we really want to develop, you know, that servant-like attitude throughout their career here at Artios. One huge thing that we do, or a couple of different things, is called the Conservatory Retreat and the BJU trip. The Conservatory Retreat is a retreat for the high schoolers where we kind of bring them all to a different location where it's just us, and we get to really have lots of different bonding experiences with the high schoolers, so that they're able to develop these strong bonds before school actually begins or shortly after school begins, because it can be hard to do that actually in a classroom setting. So that's kind of why we have that going. The BJU trip is a fine arts, international fine arts festival and competition. And so we take all the high schoolers to this competition every year, and they compete in the different areas that they're studying. So you can compete in pretty much anything in the fine arts at this Bob Jones festival. So it's a really great experience for the kids. They get all of their critiques back from all the judges, and so that they're able to see more on what they need to work on. There's huge festival choirs that you can see in that picture there, where they get to sing in these big choirs and learn these pieces really, really quick and then perform them. And Bob Jones has a fantastic fine arts complex all over the campus, lots of different performance venues and huge concert halls, and it's a really great experience for the kids to be able to have. And so that's one requirement that we require for our conservatory kids, is to go to this and compete every year after their freshman year, if they're wanting to graduate with a certificate.
That's cool.
So yeah, I went when I was a student. I mean, my mom went when she was a kid. And so I don't think I mentioned, but my mom actually was the one that started Artios. And so I kind of grew up, in the Artios realm, and then have had the opportunity to be able to teach for different campuses, and then finally be able to own one. And so these are the different Artios certificates that I mentioned before, music, art, film, theater, and the fine arts. And then, but you can also do the a la carte classes, where you just take worldview and then choose whatever other classes you want. So that's the conservatory program. Does anyone have any questions about that?
I don't know if I have any questions about that, but I am curious how, and maybe you'll get to this later, but how it ties in. Like, our kids are really young right now, so we're not quite there, but just curious, like if they stayed in the program kind of like you described, kind of through graduation, how does that translate into like a diploma? I mean, since it's homeschooling for these areas, or does this apply, since this is a little bit of a different focus maybe than like, well, no, you guys do reading, writing, and arithmetic, so maybe that is still a valid question. So how does all that kind of connect with them getting like their diploma and stuff like that?
Yeah, so Artios is all about coming alongside the parent, and so you're still the parents, and you are still homeschooling your kids. And so here, I guess someone went to join the meeting here. There you go. So the Artios certificate isn't a diploma. It's not an accredited diploma or anything like that for high school. It's just a certificate from Artios stating that you did these things, and it's recognized by different universities as we've gotten more and more presence at these different colleges.
Okay.
But in terms of graduating requirements, since you're the parent, you're still setting all of those requirements for the student. And so as long as you're complying with the Colorado laws for homeschooling, which are pretty broad in terms of what you actually have to do to graduate from high school, these different classes that they take in Artios could qualify for different subjects and things like that. And we also have a preparatory program where we have maths and sciences, literatures, and English and things like that. If there's different subjects you didn't want to teach at home at all, or things like that. And so we have that offering as well. Does that help answer that question?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. And also because you had already kind of mentioned how some of this can translate into college and scholarships and all that stuff. So testing out of classes and that. So the documentation makes sense now.
Gotcha. And then Maria on Facebook here, to take part in conservatory, do they also have to take part in the main classes? I'm assuming you're talking about the academy portion main classes. And so the academy is only for K through 8th grade. And so to be part of the conservatory, the only thing you have to take would be the worldview class, and that's it. And so that's offered on Monday. So if you took worldview, you could also take drama club or a film class or anything else that you wanted to take. So the academy portion is just for K through 8th grade. The next program I want to talk about is going to be our preparatory program. Our preparatory is where we do a lot of our different academic classes. So we have some sciences that are being offered this last year from 6th grade through up. Next year, I think we're trying to offer about 3 different sciences, physics, physical science, and biology, I think is what we're offering next year. We also have literature, and that's that 3rd grade through up isn't correct. So it'll be middle school and up. So middle school, high school literature is what we offer. And then also we have math for middle school and up. So we have, I think we're offering some algebra 1, algebra 2, and then I think a geometry class as well. And so depending on where your kid's at, since we're all homeschooling, our kids are all over the place. So, they might be in 6th grade and something and 9th grade and something else. So depending on where your kid's at, we might be able to admit them into these different classes. It's not, there's leeway in some of these grade restrictions that I'm mentioning here. And then next year, we're also offering a high school personal finance class to kind of help set these high schoolers up for, they're starting to get jobs. What should they be doing with this money? How to manage money in the future? And this is actually the Dave Ramsey high school curriculum. If you're familiar with that we'll be using. Yeah, so does anyone have any questions about the preparatory program? No, the preparatory is not mandatory at all. So that's just, if you have a kid K through 8th and they're in the academy, then this is something that they're able to take on in addition to. And so if you're K through 8th grade, you have to be in academy, and then you can add on anything else. If you're in high school, all you have to take is worldview, and then you can add on anything else. On to probably our most popular different program, our program is our Plus program. And so this is where we have art club. Sometimes we have different choreography clubs and dance classes. We have drama club, we have choir, we have dance technique classes, we have musical theater dance classes. We have creative movement as something that we added this year, which is for our really young kids. I think we had 1st graders in there. I think that was our youngest in the creative movement classes. And so this is what we'll be offering next year as well, is a lot of these same different classes. That drama club is where we, put on the different musical productions. Next year, we're putting on Newsies in the spring. That's our all school musical. And then our middle school, elementary middle school is, what is our, so Little Princess. And then the high school musical in the fall is Little Women. And then let's see, Maria, you were asking, do teachers work with children with learning differences and dyslexia, things like that? Yes, we have experience in teaching kids with different learning disabilities, and we kind of take that on a case-per-case basis. I actually have dyslexia, and I went through Artios successfully, and have learned to work with that and things like that. And so, then my mom was actually asked what curriculum is used in the preparatory program. So the preparatory program for the literature and grammar classes, that's all of our own written curriculum. So there's this book that I'll talk about at the end called the Artios Home Companion. And in that book is the literature portion as well as the history portion. And then are all these offered at every campus or only select classes? So Maria, every campus is different. So depending on the area of interest and the demand for different classes, different campuses will be offering different things every year. So what we're offering is going to be different than what Littleton's offering, and then different from what the Georgia campuses are offering, because it's all based on where the school is kind of in terms of interest and demand for these different classes. The last thing that we have is our studio. And so we have voice and piano that is offered for private lessons, as well as being able to be taught privately for art. That's an option as well. And so they're able to have one-on-one instruction from these different teachers on these different subjects. And so if you're a music major or just wanting to get better at different things, or then this is a great way to do that, because we're able to do a lot more on these one-on-one classes, rather than trying to do that just through choir or just through drama club and things like that, or just through art club. So that book I mentioned is called the Artios Home Companion Series. This is kind of our history spine for the academy classes as well as the literature classes. And so this is a book that you'll purchase at the beginning of the year, and then you will use this along with classes at home. And so the history teacher will be going unit by unit. There's 28 units, and we do 28 weeks of classes. And so they'll pick a specific area to focus on in that unit during class. And then they'll assign all these different optional activities and readings and stuff that are actually from this book. So if you're wanting to go more in depth at home, you're able to do that. Or if you're also looking for a literature and grammar curriculum, you're able to use that, because it goes right along with everything that's being taught here at Artios. So yeah, that is the Castle Rock campus. Any questions about any of that? No? Okay, I'm going to, let's see, send you an actual file here that you'll be able to, that'll kind of outline different things for the next year. Let's see if I can do that. Oh wait, no, actually I'm just going to show you, but I can email you the file later. Let's see. Okay. All right, you able to see that okay? Oh wait, no, you're paused. There you go.
There we go.
Okay. So I'll send this over to you, after this meeting, and anyone on Facebook that's wanting to get a copy of this, just let me know, and I'm able to send it to you. Maria, you were asking how many kids are in a class. So for academy, we try and keep the academy classes to around 12 or fewer, especially for those younger classes, because we want to keep that student to ratio pretty low. We want to keep the smaller class sizes. The plus classes, though, are going to be much bigger. Our drama club is at 32 people this year, and so but we're putting on a production and things like that. But for conservatory and academy classes, that's kind of where we try to be, is around that 10 to 12 per class. And so this document here will outline the different the things I talked about a little bit, a little briefer. If you're wanting to go ahead and submit an application, that is going to be free today. So if you want to submit an application, there's no commitment with that. You're just able to fill it out and kind of get the enrollment process started if you're thinking about next year. So you can, that I think it's usually $25, so that's waived for today. And so you can visit, artiosacademies.com, right down here, /Castle Rock, and then you can see how to fill out an application there. For our academy, here's our tuition pricing for academy. So it's $795, and that's for the year. And then you're able to split that out as far as 10 different monthly payments if you want to. And then there's also a pay in full discount if you're interested in that as well. And then of course we have some tuition discounts as you put more and more kids into the program. Maria, the classes are divided kind of by age. But again, these are flexible age ranges, because sometimes we have kids that would do better in an older class or do better in a younger class. But we are divided into 4 different classes currently. And I talked about this earlier a little bit. Is our class A was our 1st and 2nd grades, and then class B was our 3rd through 5th grades, and then our class C was 6th and 7th grade, and then we had a class D that was 8th grade. The Artios Plus program, that's going to be all additional costs there, and so you can see the different pricing here, and all these are yearly, and so this would be the yearly price for these different things. The only additional thing that you'd have to worry about is with Drama Club, there is going to be a production fee. Per production, so it's going to be $385, and then if I think it's $100 for I think we're doing all musicals next year, so it's all going to be $125 per production next year. And so I think you can do a max of 2 next year because of how it breaks out. And then our preparatory classes, again, that's for the year, and this is broken down on pricing there. And then for conservatory, all the conservatory classes will be $385, and then there's a discount if you enroll in 5 or more of those conservatory classes. You get a conservatory credit to your account. And then these are the lists of our different high school classes that are being offered next year. Again, that fee is waived and for today, and this is the wrong date, so don't mind that. So today's date, that is what it will be waived. And then our enrollment fee right now, I think is, let's see, is $100 per student currently, it looks like. And that's going to go up on March 1st. So if you enroll right now, it'll be $100 per student to enroll in next year. And then after that, it'll go up incrementally per month as we go along there. Maria, for the preparatory classes, for math, we will be using the teaching textbooks. For science, in the past, we have used both Apologia, and this last year we've used Masterworks. We're still in discussions about which one of those we will use for science this next year. And then for the literature classes, we have our own in-house curriculum that we've written for Artios that we use for the literature class. Any questions about applications or fees or tuition, any of that? Okay. All right, I think that's all I had for that one. I'll also send you guys this document here. This document will kind of outline things a little bit better and give you a description of each class that's being offered next year. And you'll see it'll be broken out by the different programs. And so you can see all these, it's broken out, and so I can send that to you guys so you are able to take a closer look at that. And this next year, here is the rotation that we're looking at for next year. And so all of these orange classes right here, these are going to be all of our conservatory classes. And so I kind of got it broken down by column here, so you can see conservatory is all the classes that fall under here. Class D classes are everything that falls here.
I don't think we're seeing what you're talking about.
Oh, no? Okay. Well, thank you. Let's see.
I'm still seeing the application enrollment.
Oh, it looks like it.
It may just be sharing the one app.
Let's try that again here. Oh,
there it is.
You can see it now?
Yeah, we can see your desktop.
Okay, great. I wonder what, it looks like it paused my sharing for some reason. Okay, so that other list that I showed, can you see this list here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this was the list of the different breakdowns and descriptions of the different classes. Gotcha. And then for our rotation, these orange classes, these are the conservatory level classes. And then you can see class D classes or anything that falls under here. So they could take the musical theater class, they could, and then these are the academy classes, art club, drama club, and same thing for over here. And so for class A, we have creative movement, And then I forgot to mention our Smart Start program. So our Smart Start program is our pre-K, K, and sometimes first grade that we'll have in that class. And that class, it's probably better if I just read the description here, right? So subjects are, you can see that right here, and that's 500 for the year. It includes, history, language art, music, art, theater, and science. So a little bit more than the academy, but they're all going to be with one teacher. And they'll be with that teacher for a length of 3 hours. And so it's designed to kind of give them, provide them with these different subjects, appropriate to their learning level. And then there's all these different integrated assignments and activities that they can do at home. So kind of like academy, just for younger kids, while still integrating some of that science and reading as well. And so that's what Sunshine is here. We call them the Sunshine class. Yes, let's see, there we go. Here's our Tuesday classes here. And so our Tuesday classes, for the fall, our high school is going to be doing the drama club on Tuesday in the morning. And then these are where all of our academic classes happen. They'll happen on this Tuesday time. We also have the opportunity, I didn't mention this, next year we have film club for high school. And so it seems like it's becoming a tradition here. So every few years, we partner with Kingdom Site Studios, which is a company that our film teacher owns. And we actually shoot a full-length feature film. And this is a film that has, international distribution and is online and streamed. And it's a really great way for kids to be able to get experience in the film. And we actually, the last time, some of our kids that were actors in the film got nominated for different awards and got to go to a red carpet premiere down in Florida and walk the red carpet and do these award ceremonies. It was a really cool experience for them. And so we have the opportunity to be able to do that again this year. So that takes place in the fall. Which is why our drama club for high school is moved to Tuesday morning for the fall. But in the spring, it'll be back to that Monday 3 to 5 time.
Can I ask
Maria,
a question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry. For back on the Sunshine thing, you said sometimes first grade is in that one. How would you know? I have a daughter that's in kindergarten going into first. How would you know where they would land between Class A or Sunshine?
So that's kind of where we talk to the teacher about, like, we had one student she kind of acts like a 30-year-old, but she's in first grade. But she was in Smart Start. And so after having discussions with the parents, we actually moved her up to the Class A so she could be with them, because it's a little more content and a little more appropriate for where she is. And so, that's a discussion that we could have and kind of see where we think, your child would best land, whether in the Smart Start or Class A.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, Maria, you're asking, there has not been any discussion concerning August for if we're still under quarantine. I really hope that's not the case, but no, we have not had any discussions about that as of yet. So I can't answer any questions about if pricing will look the same or not. And then classes don't start until 10:15 for academy classes, grade 6. Yes, so if you only took the academy portion, which is the green here, minus art club, then your time would be 10:10, or rather assembly. They'd be here at assembly, so at 10, all the way until 2 o'clock. And then they'd have the opportunity to be able to add on. If you said grade 6, they would have this dance class and a choir that they could take if they wanted to, as well as the drama club and art club, and any other things on Tuesday that they may want to do. But the minimum would be that 10 to 2 time. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, great. Well, I think that is the end of kind of what I was wanting to show you guys. So I'm, questions about anything, I'm happy to answer, even if I haven't covered it, or if you, yeah, so it's open to if you guys have anything.
And just out of curiosity, is the recording going to be available later so we can replay some of the details?
Yes, the recording actually, let's see, it should be, hopefully.
Okay.
I think I was recording this. If not, it'll be on Facebook. So I'm pretty sure I was recording. And so I can send that out to you as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. If you're able to either chat us on, send us a message on Facebook, because I don't think I actually have access to any of your, well, I guess I do, because you signed up on Facebook. So I'll send it out, you know, a link for that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All righty. Okay, so, well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And then, again, that application for today is free. So if you want to just fill it out just to save some money, if you decide to continue later, go ahead and do that. And then that's it. Hope you guys have a good day. Oh, Maria, I'll answer your question real quick. How much writing is required for 6th grade? So if you're just going to be in the academy portion, there's not going to be a lot of mandatory writing happening in those classes. The teacher might ask for students to write something down, but there's not going to be writing assignments that are going to be due in those classes. And if they are, they're going to be pretty minimal in terms of what is required. And Maria, feel free to send me a chat on Facebook. I'm happy to continue to answer any questions that you might have over there. All right, you guys, have a good day, and I will hopefully talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep, no problem.
All right. Stay well.